this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. So, the question of the day: are Black people more safe than white people? And I mean safer to be around. I'm not talking about safe in general. I'm just talking about safer to be around, no matter what the environment. I have often asked myself that question because America has tried to scare the world, telling the world that we're dangerous and we're inferior and just making people scared of us for no reason, even though they do the most harm in the world, and that's documented. But we are the people to be afraid of. So I saw this video on TikTok and it was somewhat revealing, but it was amusing because I didn't know where the woman was going to go with this. And so I listened and I thought you might like to hear this too. So here it is.
Because sometimes you just need to say the things that are going to offend somebody and not worry about the people that you're going to offend and just put the truth out into the universe. So this is a thought that I've been having for the second half of today, and I just need to put it out there in the universe while it is on my mind. Today, while I was at the zoo with my children, we're coming around the corner and there is a photo booth, like one of those pieces of plywood that they paint, and there's a circle for your head, so you put your face through it and you take your photo, whatever. It's like a photo prop thing. So we come around the corner and there's one of a polar bear, and my daughter wants to climb in it and have me take her picture. The exact time that all this is happening, there's a group of like 4 to 6 all Black people that like come to sit down. Now, what happens like all at one time, because there's always 700 tabs open in my brain, is that as she's saying, "Oh, Mom, can I, go over here? Can I do this? Whatever." My son is going the other way. So I'm trying to be like, "Yes, but just wait." And, "Oh, let me grab my son," whatever. There's all these things going on. The same time, I'm doing like a double take to observe that this group of 4 to 6 Black people are sitting down and like getting into their coolers and like getting situated like they're going to sit there and be there a while. Why is it that ever since having my 2 children, I feel more safe around them than if it was a group of all white people? And I know that's going to offend somebody, but I don't care that I have my kids with me. I am like being extra cautious whenever I'm surrounded by only white people.
Now, the caption says that her kids are mixed. So I'm assuming that they're mixed with Black. So they are part Black. Black people don't have a history of harassing children, regardless to who they are.
When I turned around that corner and my daughter wanted to climb into the photo prop and my son was trying to get away the other way, and I knew I had to go one direction or another, it registered that, oh, they're going to sit down. That group is going to sit and be there for a minute. I relaxed and I knew my kids were safe. And before you even get in my comments, be like, "Well, yeah, there's some Black people that are racist." That's another conversation for a different day, because Black people can't be racist. And one thing that does make me kind of nervous is that I never want a group like that group of people that sat down when I was helping my daughter in that photo booth, is that when I do a double take, again, it was just me mentally observing that, oh, they're going to sit and they're going to be there for, a few minutes. So even though I have my kids both going opposite directions, I can tell that they're observing us. And by observing us, I felt more safe than if it was a group of white people observing me, because whenever I see a group of all white people and my mixed children, I'm worried about them being like abducted or harassed.
And I want to speak about Black people in general, because I know there are outliers. There are Black people who will do the same thing that any other people will do. But Black people know what racial targeting looks like. They know how it feels and they know how it harms. So when they see biracial children, we don't exoticize them. We don't question their identity, because if they have a Black father, it's probably going to show up in them. And so we don't treat them like outsiders. And if a group of white people came up and started harassing those children, those black people would probably have something to say about it. And the reason the black people would get in it is because it wouldn't be long before those white people would be calling those children the N word. And children don't know how to process it yet, especially very young children. So those black people would probably have something to say about it. In my classroom, from time to time, I would have biracial children coming in. Now, I found that biracial boys with white mothers and black fathers to be more sensitive than biracial girls because, the people call the girls pretty most of the time. And so they're just flirty and they're just going all along. But the boys have a harder time because they get the brunt of it. So in my fourth grade class one year, I had a biracial child, and he was very likable. And so he would come and tell me things about what was going on in his life because his parents really weren't on good terms. But one Monday morning, he came and he was very upset. He had been invited to a birthday party of a white child, and his father had come to pick him up. And the children made a big deal out of it. Your father is N-word. I didn't know you were the N-word. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And he was really upset that Monday morning. He couldn't wait to tell me about it. And I told him, I wish I was your grandmother for one day. I would tell you something to tell them that they would never forget. I didn't go into details about what I would tell them, but he was laughing when we finished the conversation. Now, you know that I believe in the black family. I believe in black women and black men, but I believe that people have a right to do what they want to do. And when they do that, other people should respect them and their humanity, especially the children. So when you are a teacher, all of the children are yours, regardless of what race they are. And so that's the human way to approach it. So I understand how this mother felt of when those black people came to sit down because black people will stand on business, especially where children are concerned. Now remember, I'm talking about black people in general because I know that there are some outliers. But it speaks well of us that we have shown the world our humanity enough that people can see it, even though people have tried to rob us of that humanity. In these modern times, there are white people who are fighting like hell for their humanity. They have been taught that they don't have to respect the humanity of black people. But in doing that, they have learned that people also don't respect their humanity. And that's where we get the crisis with the Catholic Church. And that has happened all over the world. White Americans are talking openly about the harm and dysfunction they grew up with, breaking the silence that used to exist in a lot of their families. We're the bad guys, black people. Black people are the bad guys. So they are doing anything they want to do in those homes because they're not the bad guy. We're the bad guy. In March of this year, Tim Tebow, who is a former professional football player, made a viral statement during his child protection advocacy work. He highlighted that a large portion of child molesters in the United States are white, middle aged, often fathers. So let that sink in because at the end of the day, it is about humanity, children's included. So Tim Tebow's message was many offenders are biological fathers. Many are middle aged Caucasian men, white men, and people need to confront this uncomfortable reality. And he said this in the context of fighting child exploitation while testifying before Congress. So he testified this before Congress. Now, he knew what he was talking about. If he was willing to say that in front of the Congress of the United States, he knew what he was talking about. And we have seen videos of white people telling their children if they get lost to find a big black man to help them or to find a black woman. I have been stopped in the mall by white women, old white women who have lost in the mall, who is looking for the food court or looking for their granddaughter, and they've passed by several white people and asked me. So it's really wild. Parents telling children if they get lost to find a black person, that's not random. Black people don't escalate, and we don't panic, and we don't turn a lost child into a police incident. We help. So when people say they feel safer around black folk, they're talking about trust built from behavior. Because certainly there are nice white people who are safe to be around. But black people have a history of not being dangerous to other people. That's all I got to say about it, y'all. And I almost forgot it. I just uploaded a video on Black American lineage, and it's Katie Couric interviewing Byron Stevenson, who has set up a slavery memorial in Montgomery, Alabama. It has another name, but Slavery Memorial is what it really is. So check it out on Black American lineage. Okay, y'all, what do you think about this video? Let me know and have a good day.